So do religious boundaries hold us back, or do they actually set us free? It's a pretty profound question for anyone trying to figure out how to live a truly meaningful life. Today, in this explainer, we're going to unpack a brilliant perspective on this. We're exploring how living within a structured, permitted space, what we call the halal circle, fundamentally redefines our entire understanding of what it means to be free. Get ready, because the insights we're about to look at are absolutely going to shift how you view duty, boundaries, and, honestly, joy.
Does serving God restrict life? Let's be real with ourselves for a second. Have you ever felt a little twinge of anxiety about this? It is incredibly common. When people hear about religious measurements or terms like halal and haram, which mean permitted and forbidden, there's almost this immediate fear. A little voice whispers, well, if I follow all of this, I'm just not going to be able to experience anything. Navigating halal and haram means my life is going to be narrow, rigid, and I'll completely miss out on living a vibrant life. We worry that being a servant to God means basically checking your joy at the door. I totally want to validate that fear, because it makes complete sense given how we're taught to view rules. But today, we're going to look at the source material to see if that fear is actually based on reality.
Okay, let's dive into this, because we have really fallen into a modern trap. In our culture today, we often mistake true freedom for absolute limitlessness. We just assume that if there's a boundary, a rule, or some kind of restriction, it's inherently a punishment meant to steal our fun. We think freedom literally means doing whatever we want, exactly when we want to do it, without a single guardrail. But think about it. Is a life completely devoid of boundaries actually freeing? Or does it just lead to chaos? This modern assumption that every single rule is a cage is exactly what makes the whole concept of religious boundaries feel so intimidating to us.
But if we flip the script and compare a restricting boundary with a protecting boundary, we can instantly relieve a lot of that anxiety. Think about totally secular examples that we accept every single day. Traffic rules, right? Red lights and speed limits don't exist to narrow the road or punish drivers. They exist to reduce accidents, so we can all actually get to where we're going safely. A healthy diet doesn't punish you. It protects your body and gives you longevity. It is the exact same logic with spiritual rules. The boundaries of halal and haram aren't there to shrink your world down. They are meticulously designed to protect your heart, your physical body, your relationships, and ultimately, your future.
So the crucial point is beautifully summarized by a profound source known as the sixth word. It states, "The halal circle is wide enough for joy. There is no need to enter the forbidden." Man, what a magnificent, balanced measure. This completely shatters that illusion that a religious life is just this narrow, joyless corridor. The permitted area, the clean, beautiful space God has allowed, is vastly spacious. It is more than wide enough for you to live fully, to rejoice, to work, to love, to rest, and to find deep, genuine pleasure in life. When you realize just how massive the halal circle actually is, you quickly see that wandering into the forbidden isn't just wrong, it's completely unnecessary for a joyful life.
Moving on to Section 1, the philosophy of duty, living as a servant and soldier. Now that we understand the halal circle is this wide, protective space, we need to redefine what it actually means to live inside those boundaries. A lot of times, people hear the word duty or obligation and they instantly feel this heavy weight on their shoulders. But the source material reveals something fascinating. Religious obligations, the fard, are actually super light and beautifully manageable. Living within them isn't some crushing burden. It's described as a delicious, deeply honorable way to live. First up, we have the concept of abad, which translates to servant. Now toss out any negative historical baggage you might have with that word. In this spiritual context, being a servant means you're operating within a very specific elevating framework. It basically means you recognize your life isn't entirely your own to just recklessly spend. Instead, you live, take, and give purely on God's account. And you know what? That brings an incredible sense of tranquility, because you are no longer bearing the terrifying weight of trying to run the universe yourself. You're just a servant acting under the guidance of the one who owns the whole shebang. And this brilliantly illustrates the second part of this philosophy. Asker or soldier. Now, a soldier in this sense has nothing to do with conflict or battle. It's entirely about moving through your life with a profound consciousness of duty. It means you have a mission. Living as an asker gives your daily life a clear, honorable purpose. You start your day in God's name, you conduct your business and your relationships entirely within His laws, and you act with the discipline and dignity of someone who knows exactly who they report to. It literally turns your ordinary, everyday life into a mission of high honor.
All right, Section 2, human fallibility and repentance.
Listen, I want you to hear this loud and clear. Living as a servant and a soldier within this wide halal circle absolutely does not mean you have to be flawlessly perfect all the time. Perfection is for sure not the goal here. We're human. We stumble, we fall for those modern traps we talked about, and we make mistakes. The anxiety often creeps back in when we slip up, because we think one mistake means we're completely kicked out of the circle. But this framework, it's built with incredible mercy. When we mess up, the answer isn't to, actually, scratch that. It's not just running away in shame or giving up completely. The real remedy for our inevitable mistakes is to gently embrace repentance, which is known as istighfar. O Lord, forgive my faults. Make me trustworthy with what you have entrusted to me. It's a beautifully honest acknowledgement of our weakness, paired with a sincere request to be guided back to our duty. When you make a mistake, you don't run from the boundaries. You simply turn around, ask for forgiveness, and gently step right back into the protective circle.
Which brings us to Section 3, Take a Step Today.
Let's take all of this beautiful philosophy and make it incredibly practical for your life right now. I've got a challenge for you. Think about your daily routine. Can you pinpoint a specific habit in your life right now that feels really attractive, super tempting, but you know deep down it's ultimately damaging to your heart, your mind, or your relationships? We all have something. The goal isn't just to strip that habit away and leave this gaping void. The goal is to step into the wide halal circle and replace it with a clean, halal alternative. Dive into a useful hobby. Cultivate genuinely good friendships that actually lift you up. Go play some sports to honor the body you've been entrusted with. Pursue knowledge and science to expand your mind. Dedicate time to service, or just spend quality, joyful time with your family. I really want you to realize that living for God doesn't close your life off at all. It opens up all these joyful, healthy, vibrant avenues. There is just so much life to be lived right here in the safe zone.
We've covered a lot of ground today, and as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, lingering question. Which boundary is actually protecting you? Because living for God doesn't restrict your life, it shields it with the exact right borders. Those rules you might have been fighting against all this time, they might just be the very armor keeping you safe, healthy, and capable of experiencing true, lasting joy. So think deeply about where you might be fighting a boundary in your own life today, and ask yourself if it's time to finally see it as a protector rather than a prison. Thanks so much for joining me, and I really hope this sparks a beautiful shift in how you view the wide, joyful circle of your life.